Very good, very good. Nice, relaxing, easy day. Took the kids to school.
Nice.
Just get to sit here, game a little bit, a little Overwatch 2 in the morning.
Oh, I've never played that game actually.
I don't know what you're doing with your life.
God damn it.
Do you like strictly play like RTS? Like, come on, like Overwatch 2 is a great game.
Yeah, I've heard about it. Okay, is Overwatch okay, don't call me dumb. Is Overwatch something like Valorant?
Yeah, very similar. So, um, if you think of CS:GO as like a one shot you're dead, and Valorant as like three shots you're dead, Overwatch is more like a back and forth battle with lots more abilities. So it's instead of like a Call of Duty super fast pace, it's a little more strategy involved than
Nice.
just like, oh, I got an angle on you, you're dead.
Ah.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. Although I will say, a lot of the like they're getting a lot of flack for calling it Overwatch 2 because it's basically just like Overwatch 1 reskinned, which is definitely true. But you get the game for free if you already owned Overwatch. So I think you can still download it for free now too. So I mean, it's like okay, well, call whatever you want if you're gonna give it to me for free.
Mm-hmm. What other games do you play?
I play a lot of Magic.
Oh, Magic the
Um,
Gathering?
yep.
Oh, nice. Yeah,
Uh,
Brick is a huge Magic the Gathering player. He's one of the top 200 players in North America.
all right, all right, all right. Do you know if do you know much about it?
Not really. That's like
Okay.
that's his arena, not mine.
Gotcha. There's like two forms, like limited or constructed, and I was wondering which one he played.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause I'd like to battle him in one of those, but if it's constructed, that's not my thing. Um, yeah, I play WoW. Play Valheim, which is pretty fun.
Nice. WoW is
Yeah,
fun. Do you still
yeah,
play WoW right now?
yep. Play WoW right now. I play Wrath of the Lich King right now, so I'm not playing retail. I'm playing like the like revamped server.
Mm-hmm.
Play EverQuest. Little throwback. Have you ever heard of that?
I'm trying to remind my own memory on EverQuest. I think it's a MMORPG,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, 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 yeah. It's like
Nice.
old school. It's like kind of what spawned WoW.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I haven't really been playing much RTS. Like I used to play a lot of StarCraft too, and then I played a ton of Dota. Like I actually played a little bit of Dota competitively, and
Uh-huh.
that's Dota stemmed from Warcraft 3 or whatever, like a mod off Warcraft 3.
Yeah, Dota 2 is toxic, man.
Yeah, yeah, those games are tough. Those games
I
are tough.
spent so many hours in the past playing Dota.
Yeah, yeah. You walk away after that game of like years of putting time in, and you're like, I'm not that much better, and I got yelled at for countless hours. Like, what was I doing with my life?
Dude, and Steam doesn't make you feel any better because
Oh no, no,
it shows
no.
you exactly how many hours you actually play.
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah.
And you're
And then
like,
and then it says
Jesus.
bronze like right beside your name. Great.
Uh,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
okay.
Did you play? I'm assuming you played some RTS games, right?
Yeah, dude. I'm a huge RTS player. Strictly I think after I quit Dota, strictly mobile though.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. So mobile
Yeah, I mean,
RTS games. Have
yeah.
you heard
Like
of Rise of Kingdoms?
I have heard of it, but I have not played any RTS on mobile. Like, can you really? I mean, what's the feel? Like, what's the like? Does it feel similar to playing on like a PC? Like, I just felt like I wouldn't have as much, I don't know, control over it or whatever. Like, it just seemed like I had to do so much when I was playing on my computer that it's like I wouldn't be able to do that on my phone.
Yeah, dude. The mobile experience is definitely different. I would say though, the social mechanism of a mobile seems to be um closer to when you, let's say, play a MMORPG and you have like a close guild that
Okay,
that you play with. But in
okay,
terms of like gameplay experience, I mean, PC is PC, right? You
yeah,
can't you can't compare the both. Like you can't compare both specs and expect the same level of gameplay. But in terms of strategy planning, though, I would say mobile gaming still has it out there,
hmm
and it totally depends on the game's mechanics and how they plan everything.
Do you play on a tablet, or can you actually fit it all on like a phone?
I play on the phone,
Okay.
but yeah, a tablet would be so much nicer. I've yeah, I've tried playing on a tablet though, and I mean, yeah, you want portability, and you know,
Hmm.
being on the move. Sometimes you just you can't really play on tablet every now and then outside.
Right. Right. I just tried that. Speaking of mobile games, I just got into that new Marvel game, Snap.
Ah,
It's
yeah,
a
I
card
saw
game.
that. I saw that.
It's
Yeah,
not. It's
Marvel
not
Snap.
bad. It's not bad.
Yeah.
Don't worry, guys. Everybody listening to this will now get like 900 ads for Snap all over their Twitter and Facebook and everything. Sorry about that, guys. Hope you like it.
Yeah, I've heard about it from Brandon from Brick. Yeah, we talked a little bit about Marvel Snap. I didn't play it though.
I'll just say, like, as far as games that are easy to pick up and like somewhat rewarding in a short period of time, like that game does it. Like the games are very short, but they feel like there's definitely like, you know, tough decisions to make, and
Mhm.
you can easily like play for free. You don't have to spend any money or anything.
Yeah, it looks like a card game to me. Something like MTG.
Yeah, yeah, it's a card game.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's similar-ish. Instead of there being like resources, like you use like mana and stuff like that in a lot of these other games, like Hearthstone and all that. It's more just like what cards you have in your hand. It's not as much like resource management, I guess you would say.
Yeah,
It's fun though. It's fun for sure. Give it a go.
yeah. I would maybe like try to play it for a little while. Yeah, it seems interesting though because I think they have like seven different rarities or something, which is pretty out of the norm, I would say, in current
Yeah.
context.
The thing about the rarities though is it's like the rarities are kind of like for fun. So
Mm-hmm.
I was under the impression that as you upgrade your rarity, your card actually gets like stronger, but it
Uh
just
huh.
looks different. So you know, at first I was like, oh man, everybody that's been playing this for a while is going to be so much higher, but it's not really like that.
Oh, is it not? Then what's the
No,
rarity for?
the rarity is just how cool it looks.
Okay.
Yeah, it's literally just how cool it looks.
Yeah, I mean it looks cool, so gotta give credits to them.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They do. I mean, having that platform, having Marvel to work from is sick. I mean, you have so much stuff to pull from.
Exactly. All right. Thank you everyone for coming in. Let's get right started. Um, yeah. How do you want me to address you, man? Because
Blake. Yeah,
Blake.
my wife
Okay.
bought this. Doesn't roll off the tongue.
Okay. Yeah, because I'm not gonna call you my wife bought this.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, Blake is perfect. What's your name? What's your first name?
Just call me Didi will do.
Didi.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
All right. So yeah, Blake, when maybe let's start by asking you when did you join Guild Saga, and how has the journey been so far since then, since you joined?
Yeah, so I have an interesting journey, I'd say, as far as Guild Saga. I was in their Discord a long time ago, something like 9 months ago, keeping track of the project, keeping track of the project. The mint comes around, all in, everything's crazy, everybody's super pumped. Get the hero minted, start hanging out with everybody in Discord. Oh my gosh, like shopping for these things became like a part-time hobby of mine. Like I was constantly looking. Like there's so many different like items and builds and things like that to like look at that I started shopping for other people. So as I started shopping for other people and helping other people with the project, I actually got promoted to like a sage role, which is kind of like somebody that helps out the community and things like that. And then after I was in the sage role for a little while, basically applied to be a mod. After I became a mod, I then was hanging out in the Discord so much that I started like helping promote, and so I applied to be like sort of like a marketing head, and help out with that stuff. So that has taken me around to a lot of these different spaces, meeting all these different projects, and then I reached out to try to take on a little bit more responsibility. So I'm part of the team that helps test as well. So it's kind of started at nothing, and now I'm trying to cover as many different topics as I possibly can.
Nice, dude. Yeah, this is amazing. So were you like from a marketing background back in Web 2, or like what was your previous job? I sorry,
Yeah.
are you in Web3 full time right now with Guild Saga?
So I started as a marketing head in with Hewlett Packard. So I used to travel around and do like trainings and things like that for Hewlett Packard, like way back in the day. Then
Nice.
I actually had a funny change in career. Marketing and traveling and stuff like that, sales positions, like you never stop working. Like there's no like if you stop working, your numbers, you know, get worse and it looks bad and your year over year gets worse. So I was like, okay, I can't keep up this grind with kids coming. I actually found a casino that was opening near me. And I was like, you know what would be cool? Like working in the gambling industry. I'm like, let's give this a go.
Okay.
So I started dealing cards for a long time. And oh my gosh, like
Was it
what a fun
fun though?
what a fun job, dude. If you can handle people like bothering you, then that gig is awesome because you don't take any work home with you. You're like literally involved in a game all day every day. Um, and I mean the money was actually like reasonable whenever the economy was like really great. Then COVID hit, and my wife was like, "Hey, uh, I don't really want you doing this during COVID," because this is when everybody thought it was super scary. So working in the gambling industry and around all the people, she was like, I want you to stay home with the kids. And that's what stemmed my wife bought this name. That's where that came from because she just wanted me to stay home with the kids. So staying home with the kids a little bit, started doing all this stuff with Web3. And that's kind of how I, now have delved so far into this that I actually have a job with it. So I'm working, part time basically with this and then just helping with the kids.
Nice, nice. So I mean, it seems like you guys. So I checked out a little bit about the project. And it seems like you guys have a pretty good size of team, about 17 people. Am I right?
Yeah, that sounds about right. We have
Yeah.
pretty how would you describe it? Like everybody has their job, their role, like pretty locked in. So every little person has you know their little niche or whatever filled. So it's been working pretty well so far.
Were the team like always this big, or like did you guys expand into like this big team that you have right now?
I think it started relatively large in all the different niches, but it's grown a little bit over time for sure. I don't think that there's any sort of like size that becomes any sort of disconnect. So I think right now the size is looking pretty good. I think we're keeping it around where we are now. I think
Hmm.
the production has been pretty good because staying tight knit lets you kind of get stuff done a little bit faster. I think.
Yeah, when you can control like
Yeah.
things that goes on week by week, and you can literally like keep the reins of what's
Right.
going on, like things get moved like really fast. So
Yeah.
I'm just curious on the hiring process though. Like, um I'm not sure whether you have too much information about this. If you don't, it's all right. But did you guys hire like outside of Discord? Like, were there any hiring platforms that you guys used?
I think a lot of the core team knew each other before, but I don't know any sort of platforms that were used. So, I mean, for me, the platform was Discord.
Yeah,
I think there's been a couple people added through just interest in the project, but I think a lot of the core team knew each other before and didn't use any sort of like large platform. But yeah, I'd have to ask Volt about that part.
yeah, that's interesting. Oh Jesus, dude, hiring in Web3 is a yeah. Pardon my French, man. It's a bitch. A
Dude,
bitch to hire in Web3, man. Yeah, there's so many different platforms that you can use, but the quality of the people that you
yeah,
want
yeah.
naturally, like it's such a bitch.
So like
Um,
I've tried to put on events. I've tried to put on some events for Guild Saga, and it's you get tons and tons and tons of interest at the start. But yeah, like when you weed through the people, it seems like there's a lot of problems with keeping people's attention for very long, especially I guess during the bear market. I'm sure some of that stuff will change, as everything pops off again. But
yeah,
yeah, it's keeping people's attention is really really tough, and dependability is like I've seen like a big issue with this. It's I'm sure it's probably a little bit of an issue with the work from home stuff that I'm not accustomed to, because like everything I've done has been like face to face. So maybe that's just a work from home type of thing. But yeah, it just seems like finding people that are willing to stick with things and not have like somebody right over their shoulder the whole time is difficult.
Yeah, I feel like the number of projects that are popping up like in the space is like it's you see like 20 projects per day being founded by like random people. And so if let's say like one or two like get shilled, that's like more than 700 projects per year, right? That
Yeah.
really popped off. And in order to gain like that, there's only so much people in the space, and if like you want to gain their attention, you have to like really pop off and then keep delivering on the things that you have to do. However, that seems like it's not the case with OK Bears until like recently they proved my statement correct. They were like literally popping off out of nowhere, 300 soul and all of that shit, and they didn't deliver anything. And then right now they keep on delivering and delivering and delivering like useful things. But see, like the floor price doesn't necessarily reflect on what people have thought of them before.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be good for games, because with games we don't have to ride the hype quite as much. If we put out a product, the product over time like can just gain attention. Whereas OK Bears, it's like, I don't know, where are these people really going to keep coming from? I'm actually curious. Like you said that they delivered some product. Like what have they done recently? I haven't really been keeping up with hardly any of the PFP type of projects.
Yeah, so they one of our team members are actually an OK Bears member, coping.
Uh,
Is in here, and he keeps telling me about the things that OK Bears is doing. So I think they did something with um the Discord, and like they implemented a bunch of things. They implemented something that dude, I don't know. I don't really care about OK Bears, hence the lack of my information right here. But I just know that they are delivering something. But
yeah,
I can't like whip information right off the bat, because I honestly I don't really care about them. And
right.
yeah, I mean, so did you
OK
guys
Bears is an
actually
official NFL pledge.
do like did you guys do cross pollination marketing with other gaming projects, or just Web3 projects in general? Like how was the experience before?
Yeah. So have you heard of Chill Chat?
Yeah, we
Yeah, a
chatted.
little yeah, a little promotion with Chill Chat early on. They're one of our our basic marketplace for some of the items that you can acquire in our game.
Mm-hmm.
Um, is like through another project. Um, Catch King is another one that we've been doing a lot of like collabs with and stuff. There's a lot of different things that you know like has helped through just small partnerships and things like that. But I don't think there's even anything like that it's super major that we've been like attached to another like project or anything like too much.
Mm-hmm.
um, a lot of the stuff we're planning on doing on our own, like even the marketplace and things like that, eventually will be set up for ourselves. I mean, it's obviously everybody's like still battling for the same market share, like you said earlier. So it's nice to do things with other people, but you definitely have to rely on yourself a lot as well. I mean, you know, it's if you're not putting out your stuff, it doesn't matter how many connections you have, because people are going to come check on your stuff, and there's going to be nothing there, and it won't matter. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
I totally agree with you. Like you gotta have some sort of product to put in front of people. Like I think one of the biggest things that we found out just recently, like this past week or so, or this past 2 weeks, is when we just literally have our technical build ready. And we were getting on calls with different people that I don't really want to mention over here, but like we have talked to these people before, like in
mhm.
the past, and they were the ones who reached out to us. But after taking the call, they realized like, oh, you guys don't even have a demo. Let's talk when you have a demo, right? And so right now, when we have a demo, we reached back out, and we literally got on a call with them. And the energy is just very different, right? Like, oh, you guys are actually building something real. You guys are still here. like, oh, surprised to hear from you. Okay, you guys are still building, that type of thing. And you know, my co-founder Brick, he's in Lisbon right now, Brickpoint, and you know
Nice.
he set up Zoolana's technical build at his desktop. Um, I mean, at his laptop, connected the screen with the desktop, and Anatoly came and played the game, and he said he loved it, and we posted it on Twitter. People freaked out, people loved it, and I think part of the reason why is having a technical build, having a demo ready to let people see and feel in front of them is very, very different from just talking about it.
Right, right. So how many people have access to your demo, your like build right now? Is it something that's open to very many people?
Nope.
Because I know.
This is
I,
extremely exclusive. This is an
okay,
internal build. This is an internal build that we
gotcha.
only show to people that are requesting to see it because they want to we want to advance the conversation and they want to see something real, and that's why
Right.
show them. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been a Zoolana like red holder for a long, long time, so I was like, am I missing out on anything? I'm like, let me do that.
Oh fuck yeah. Yeah, we're gonna have our alpha out soon too. So yeah,
Beautiful.
overrate holders, you guys are definitely taken care of.
Beautiful. So we have a lot of people in here that are all gamers. Like, is there anybody that has like contacted you about Zanis or that you've talked to that you think is like a cool project for people to look at? Since we got some people in here that might want to check out other things as well. You got anybody else that you want to promote?
Yeah, I
We're
mean,
always for new stuff.
I think yeah, Brendan Brick talked with like a ton of gaming projects at Breakpoint, and they're all very interested. I'm not too sure. Have you heard of Elixir? Elixir Launcher?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah,
Yeah. So those guys too, 3DGG,
yeah,
previously known as oh fuck, what was their previous name?
yeah, dude. I know what you're talking about. The Degen Legends
Yeah,
people.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah. They rebranded to Degen Legends.
yeah.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
talked
Some of
with
their shirts walking around for
mhm,
break. Yeah.
Orrery as well. They're interested. They want to get on. A
I
few
saw. Is there any other big gaming projects that you have talked to besides Gyrus?
Orrery.
Ori? Oh, well, of course, of course, of course. I actually think that a lot of the team members for Guild Saga are like into that. I haven't really dabbled too much.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't really have a good reason. Like, you know, I like kind of like card games and stuff like that. It's kind of like a battler slash card game slash open world thing, right? It's got like a whole bunch of different things going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll check it out. As I guess kind of one of the things is like when I looked at it, the floor was like so high. I was like, okay, well, let's kind of like wait for some more stuff before I'm not going to drop like what was it? Probably like 40 gold when I was like looking at it at the time. So how
Yeah,
much can you
too
play now
too
if you mess around?
inaccessible for you.
What was it?
Too inaccessible.
Yeah, yeah. It's like what if I spend 40 so I don't like it? I don't know.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, but they're a cool team too. They've been building for a while, and
oh yeah.
obviously you've heard of them. But yeah, they're pretty excited about ZeniList as well. I'm not too sure. Have you heard of Game Starter? They're like a gaming launchpad as well, similar to Elixir.
Which one? What's the name of it?
Game Starter.
I have not checked out Game Starter. I'll write it down though. I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, so Game Starter is another big one that we've got in our pipeline. Yeah, actually, all of this is alpha because this is
Yeah.
not supposed to be public information.
It's all right. Tight knit little crew here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited to be able to have a platform to connect with everybody a little bit easier. That'll
Yeah.
be fun.
So let's just run through what ZeniList is and
Yeah,
why we created ZeniList.
yeah,
I feel like not a lot of people know truly why we actually created ZeniList. Um, So if everyone still remember Utes and Utes list, they were like a huge thing before, and kind of what they did was they curated a community where you have to get accepted into the community. And back then when I got accepted, and it was it was a very exciting moment. I went in with like fairly high expectations on, oh my god, there's so many people. Like these are generally meaningful connections that I'll get access to. But reality, you know, differs so far from the truth at that point, because when I joined the community, you know, welcomes are there, everything is there, but like when you type in the chat, all it takes is 5 seconds before your message disappears. And there's just not a good way to connect with people who you want to connect. Let's say, for example, I want to connect with this certain influencer, right? Because we want to work with them. Like there's just no way for that person to actually reply back, because all the messages get drowned out so fast and so quickly. And so what we thought, when so this is our upcoming Zenny Hero Min. This is our in-game Hero Min, and aside from just in-game benefits, me and Break, we thought, why not let's give out outside of the game some utility as well. And so we thought, why not? Like, there's no good Web3 gaming community out there that actually is a comprehensive one. And so we thought of creating one. And you know the primary goal of the community would be to create the most comprehensive Web3 community, because builders building in a bear market, when we get together, for either co-collaboration opportunity, building opportunity, or even hiring opportunity, like this is something that will be essential in a bear market, and I truly believe so. So that's what we're trying to do right here. So we thought of like user flow dedicated to what people would actually want, and we want to help people find specifically what they're finding for. So to give you more context, here's an example to help us understand better. Let's say you're a gaming project wanting to hire someone specific in the game designer department, right? So you would just hop into our Discord, and then there's this forum feature. Just go to the hiring forum and click on game designers, and all of the game designers available will pop out, right? So this is like the kind of user flow that we want to curate for the experience of Zenny list holders. And it's just gonna be very user flow centric. So definitely when we launch it out, the forum, we would definitely find people um, to give and share their feedback with us. So just based on your current understanding, Blake, how would you imagine Zenny list able to help Guild Saga? Like, do you guys need anything at this specific moment? Let's say, for example, you want to connect with the launchpad, you want to connect with another project, or you want to connect with the game VC. Like, these are the things that we kind of want to curate inside a community.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, you just brought up Game Starter. That would be one. It would be great to have that correct contacts for those people, because you go into some of these discords and you're like trying to wade through. The initial people you talk to are all mods, but none of them are like part of the core team usually. Getting a hold of the right people is very, very difficult, and especially if you're trying to get a lot done in a short period of time, you just don't have time to wade through all this stuff. So if we could have like some sort of curated list that has like contacts, I mean, that would be invaluable. I mean, it would save so much time for everybody.
Yeah, definitely. And dude, when we started with the list, it's sort of a yeah, it's all like a chicken and egg problem. We were like thinking, okay, we don't have anyone. How are we gonna get the big players? Like we need to have big players before like we can attract other people. And then we realized like all we have to do is just reach out to like personal contacts that we've known so far, like over the past year. And the reception has been amazing. Like people are saying great things. Like they're saying like, oh, there's like no community out there that is so gaming centric. It would be great if you guys can do it. Yeah, we are definitely interested, and things like that. And it's also very exciting to hear these things, because it seems like such a simple idea when we've thought of it, but when you actually try to go out and just do it, like, yeah, it's a great feeling, man.
Yeah, I mean, the snowball effect of something like that would be massive. I mean, as soon as you as soon as you host some event, it's like, oh, how'd you meet those people? Oh, Zanny list. How did you hire that guy? Oh, met him on Zanny list. I mean, yeah, it's like as soon as you get a decent little crew in there, and anybody like starts doing any sort of collab, and it's they go back to where it came from, and it's like, oh, it came from Zanny list. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a lot of like snowball potential there.
Yeah, definitely. Especially in this current market condition, man. Yeah, it's not the best, but reality is reality, and we've got to adapt to reality. Just curious, what is Guild Saga's next steps right now?
So right now we're polishing off the alpha build so it can go public. So we had the alpha build first go to the core team, then we had it move down to the sages, which is kind of like a curated list of members. Then we had it go to the large holders, and now we're finally polishing that to go ahead and send that out. Right now, world mode is already live and crafting is live. So world mode is kind of like gamified staking, and then the crafting aspect is just creating different. Oh, sorry. All right, I think they're gone. Nope, they're not gone. All right.
Oh,
Crafting is kind of like your way of gearing your character before the game is like actually launched. It also helps build a lot of community. Like shout out to my guild and Guild Saga on Dead Lords. A lot of us get together and share our different like recipes and all kinds of different things to help uh, gear up our heroes even before the game is like launched. So there's a lot of different things that you can do building up to the launch of the game, and we're really excited to get the alpha in people's hands.
nice, very exciting. Just curious though, um, how did like are you guys funded? How are you guys like paying yourselves?
I can't really speak to the initial funding or the VC backing or any of that. I can't. That's not part of my repertoire.
Okay, yeah, no worries. How big was the collection back in? I think you guys minted in February, right? How big was the collection, and what was the mint?
I think the mint was 1.5 Sol, if I remember correctly. And I think that I, I think that it was a 10,000 collection with some of them saved for like, distribution, for like promos and things like that. I feel like that's correct. Gulai might be able to put the message in the chat as well, but I'm pretty sure that's right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's interesting. Maybe you guys, yeah. So for Zulana, we didn't. Yeah, one thing that in hindsight, looking back, we should have taken VC money right off the bat. But one thing that we didn't do was, we rejected all the VCs that came to us because we wanted to build it out first and then gain the money to go to market. But yeah,
I do.
current
I do.
market conditions aren't the best to be raising with VCs, and they're asking for a whole lot more for, and yeah, but things are
Yeah,
what
but
it
it costs
is.
them a lot of money to borrow. It's going to cost you a lot more. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I will say we definitely got in lucky at the timing. Like the 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 core team had built a lot of the product ahead of time, so I think any sort of funding they got was, they were able to show a product like to them early on. And then we also, got in just the nick of time as far as like mint goes, that it was like, instantly sold out that day, and there was no stress about any of that stuff. So that's nice. And obviously, like there was a lot of early trading volume that helps with the runway as well. And
Hmm.
then there's also some internal items and things that there's like a little bit of a cut on as well. I'm curious to hear what you think of the whole forced um, like royalties or whatever that's happening right now. Like, is that something that you guys have ever considered? Or I thought it was kind of surprising that Utes ended up doing it.
Yeah, I feel like, I mean, yeah, from a business standpoint, I feel like what Utes did was, yeah, you can't just like you when you declare something that big, like for example, oh, we're prioritizing 0% royalties, um, and then not even like 2 months later, you go back on your words and say, oh, we're enforcing royalties. Like that's just, I don't think that's a good look on them necessarily. Don't get me wrong, I'm still fans of them. In terms of my viewpoint on royalty, I feel like it's not whether people should or should not pay royalties, but whether it's enforceable on a contract level. Because there's no point in arguing if um, things cannot be enforced on a contract level. And I feel like I haven't really looked through Metaplex documents because I think they sort of solved it. But I see some initial replies on from Cardinal talking about it, that it's not really a solution per se, but I haven't really looked into it personally. And I also, another thing that I personally think for like gaming projects is, dude, like who gives a fuck? We're not affected, to be honest, because if once you curate players within your community, the bulk of the NFT trading is going to be inside your own marketplace in the game itself. And say, for example, Zoolana is a mobile game, right? So if, let's say, the NFT marketplace or the trading marketplace is inside the mobile app, like that's our code. We can enforce it on a contract level. And so I don't feel like that's something that a lot of gaming projects have to worry about.
Yeah, I definitely think it's more of a PFP issue for sure. Speaking of Zoolana being mobile, is there any like new news about the Saga or anything that's just interesting from Breakpoint?
Yeah, Brick has been following them, and I haven't had the chance to chat with him on where it is, but I heard that he had a chat with Solana mobile team, and they wanted to do something with us, but we haven't had a chat yet.
Yeah, I mean that'd be sweet if you get on that list where it comes like preloaded. You know what I mean? That was pretty cool. I saw what was the Eternal Dragons or something. It's supposed to be doing that.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
Yeah, I haven't had the chance to chat with Brick. Yeah, he's been busy. I've been busy. Yeah, dude, there's a lot of things that I'm doing on the operation side, and he's doing his best trying to connect with people. We do like these 10-minute calls every day right now while he's over there, just like a TLDR on, who he has met, what's like the TLDR of the people that he has met. Yeah, but nothing really too solid. We'll reconvene once he's like back to his time zone.
are you getting a Saga?
What's that?
Are you gonna get a Saga?
Dude, I fucking wish they don't ship it to Singapore. I'm based in Singapore.
Oh man, jeez,
Yeah.
brutal. Okay, all right, all right. We'll smuggle you in one.
Yeah, but a few of my team members, they're gonna get it. So,
Yeah, I definitely want to check one out for sure.
hmm did you get one?
No, I have not. I have not. Maybe we'll talk to Volt into making a mobile version and kind of get the hookup. I was just gonna test it out for you, Volt.
hmm Yeah, I think I'm not too sure whether you're familiar with Gabe. He's a Google. He's been posting about the alpha of getting a Saga phone. He's like, pay $100, get $1,000 worth of treatment. Like he's going to like these dinners. He's getting free merch. He's like, my ROI is insane. Yeah,
Yeah, that's true. I mean, yeah, I could see that.
it's interesting. Um, yeah. I mean, is there anything else on the horizon for Guild Saga? Like,
I would say one of the things that we currently started prioritizing is, did you ever play WoW,
yeah.
World of Warcraft? Yeah. Do you remember Nagrand? The Circle of Blood? Do you remember
Dude, you're testing my memory, man.
that? Basically just like a quest line where you're like beating a boss with your group, going to the next boss, going to the next boss, and the rewards are getting better and better and better and better. Well, that's
Mhm.
kind of like one of the things that we're working on right now. It's kind of like going to be a PVE gauntlet where I guess you could think of maybe Diablo Rifts or something like that, where you're going in and defeating monsters, and then they're getting progressively harder and harder and harder. That's something that we have currently started working on. That's like one of the newer additions. The like it kind of brings like what's the word, like a rogue like style to our game, which is a
Mhm.
little dynamic that we're excited about for sure.
So is it something like, okay, you go into the game, you beat, like, there's like, for example, there's like 150 levels, right? So you beat like every single level, and then you reset your life, or is it something like a continuation, like you just keep beating and beating until you die?
Yeah, I think it's right now. It's going to be a continuation where it just gets so hard that it's like basically unbeatable, and you just kind of see how far you can get. And hopefully that'll add like a little element of like competition as well. You know,
Hmm.
because the whole idea of like what I was saying before when I was talking to you about is like anybody can do a role playing game and it doesn't have to be on Web3, right? But part of the Web3 thing is like building a community and the competition and the camaraderie and things like that. Whereas the story mode is kind of just the normal game, but all the additional things that we're going to put on here are what bring everybody together, keep everybody interested for a long time, and that's we're going to be like a key cog in it. You know, the bragging rights for who got farther with what builds and all that different stuff. Like I'll try in this build to get further, you know, and doing all that stuff with your friends. Hopefully, some of it'll eventually be like a co-op as well, and bring people together even more. Because guilds, obviously, the name of the project Guild Saga, we really want to like emphasize like community and being with your friends and accomplishing things together. So that'll be a big part of it.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like one thing that Web3 games can really leverage on is that we can really integrate social dynamics, to the point where Web2 games cannot really replicate because of the community embodiment that we have right now. And yeah, dude, this sounds really interesting. What if like you create something like a guild run? Like let's say your guild has like 50 people, and then you guys just go on like this guild run on this like game mode, and like go to like one of the highest levels that you can ever go to. Yeah, that would
Yep.
be like really actually very fun.
Yep. That's the plan. Start
Yeah.
build it in as originally as the single player, and then expand on that.
Yeah, dude, there's like so much potential of esports in that genre, I feel like, that you can highly expose to.
Yeah. Did you ever play any like role playing games like growing up at all? Like
Um
fantasy
RPG
tactics or
definitely, like RuneScape,
yeah.
Maple
Well,
Story.
yeah, RuneScape is good because it at least had a community. But like a lot of people grew up, you know, playing like something like Final Fantasy Tactics or you know even just the regular Final Fantasy series. And the problem is like you play it and you kind of like do all this stuff and you have like nothing to show for it. You kind of just like put the game and walk away, you know. Whereas like this
Yeah.
is like we need to be able to like grind out a you know a nice like setup or whatever in the single player mode, and then have that expand into like a PvP or PvE with your friends type of experience as well. So you're not just like, oh, okay, I'm done. I guess I'll throw it away. You know?
Yeah, dude, almost definitely. I feel like, yeah, just look at Call of Duty, man. I mean, originally they had not planned for like a PvP element to it, right? But they realized like once you integrate that PvP element into it, like they gain a whole lot more players into the game.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, yeah. Everybody needs like some sort of, you know, you need some sort of like bragging rights or some sort of like camaraderie just to keep things going these days. I mean, there's so many different things like offer it. I feel like the single player experience is like it's just not gonna stay nearly as popular. Even in like the RTS, it's like you'll form like bonds with like different strategies and things like that with people that you meet, and even then like I in different ladders on different games like that, you eventually start knowing even the people that you're playing against. You know, if you see them enough.
Yeah, dude, almost definitely. Once you get to like the higher tiers, there's like a few people only, like for example, there's like 20 people, right, on the leaderboard, and like you always see this 20 people. Maybe there's like one or two that might slip in once in a while, but there's always this group of 20 that is like over there. And once you get to that point, you interact with each other, and yeah, it's on a whole other different level at that point.
Yep.
Awesome. Let's see if there's any questions that people want to ask. Actually, do you guys want to ask any questions,
I did
those
have
in the
somebody
audience?
that wanted to ask if you played Maple Story, and you already said that you did, so that's funny.
Oh, did they?
Yeah. Gulai, one of my coworkers.
Nice. Dude, Maple Story was so fucking fun. Oh my god. I was so crazy about Maple Story. Dude, I spent so much hours in that game as well. Oh my god, it's so insane.
Nice. Yeah, I saw a little bit of it. It wasn't like super popular where where I was like that was during my like heyday of like WoW and Dota, so I didn't really have much crossover.
Yeah, dude, I was I played games too much. I feel like I spent too much of my time playing games in the past. Yeah, dude, MapleStory was huge in the C region, I think. Not so much in the US. Although there's like a few US players that I've met, but yeah, mostly were from like the APAC and C region.
Nice, nice, yeah. I can't. I don't know if there was any like. I guess like EverQuest was my most like meet with other people type of thing because I actually ended up playing on a server that was like not local, so I had a lot of like cool relationships with people that were far away because I used to play like super late at night.
Yeah, there's always like different games that have like a certain country dominating it. Dude, what was
Yeah.
that game? It was ah, what was that game? PS game, and dude, it was dominated by one country. I forgot which country it is, but yeah, dude. Sometimes even Dota, dude. I have no idea why.
Yeah.
Like my my queue always had like Filipino people.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh
And
definitely, definitely. Yeah. Some of the people that I played with like competitively, yeah, tons of them were Filipino. I mean, that's probably one of the reasons that like they hosted one of the big like events in Manila. It's like almost always there. I think.
yeah, all love to them though. But all I all I saw in chat was all that toxic shit.
Yeah.
Those
Yeah.
Bobo, Potanginamo, and all that shit.
So, like for all my community members, do you want to give like a quick? We talked a little bit about Zanis. Do you want to give a quick like little Zoolana breakdown? Like, I'm sure everybody's heard of like RTS games. Like, maybe talk about how it compares to say StarCraft or something like that, so that they get a little bit of a feel for that.
Yeah, almost definitely. So Zulana is a sub strategy of an RTS game called 4X. So notable titles would include Rise of Kingdoms, War. Wait, what? No, War and Order, Lords Mobile, as well as the most recent game in 2022 that just came out, called Infinity Kingdom. I feel like a ton of people that are making games in Web3 don't really have like a certain direction that they want to go with. Whereas for us personally, I think we draw a lot of inspiration from these notable games because you've got to admit something though. When you're working with like such a small budget, and you're trying to create something that is with quality, you don't have the luxury of doing A/B testing to the point that they had, right? Because you gotta imagine that their budget is something over the course of a few years. They're building this game for a few years, and they have the budget of like 10 to 15 to 20. Even some games they spend like 30 million trying to build the game, and you know we just don't have that luxury of having that amount of money to do the amount of testing that they had. And I feel like a ton of inspiration that we took will come from games like Rise of Kingdoms and Infinity Kingdom. So if you want to get a look and feel of the game, of how Zulana would be, certainly check that two games out because yeah, even down to the nitty gritty of how which buttons would be at, at what level will you unlock certain things. We definitely draw a ton of inspiration to it. Albeit, I would say our combat is fairly different from them, because we kind of innovated the combat a little bit, and yeah, it's fairly different from most forex strategy games, whereby you would actually have some sort of pre-strategy decisions that you have to make even before going into combat. And once you're in the combat, there's also decisions to be made inside the combat. Like for example, at which moment do you want to use the skill of that certain hero, for you to secure your victory, right? And even during PvP, we are gonna have different game modes. For example, let's say drawing idea from Clash of Clans. If let's say you want to attack another settlement, they would have some sort of defense buildings that you will need to get rid of, things like that. And so we drew inspiration from that too, but certainly not a one to one. I would say it's more on our own version of how we interpret um, that game to be of its highest potential. So it's like a mix and match of all of the AAA top tier forex mobile strategy game that is out there currently that actually envision Zoolana to be the best of it.
Yeah, very cool. So, on average, do you think how many units do you think you'll control on your screen, like in an average fight in that game?
As of right now, we're currently testing with one, two, three, four, five, six, seven different combat units and three different
Okay.
heroes. So a total
Okay.
of like 10.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah, three is always a good one, like the rock paper scissors approach.
Yeah,
Yeah,
gotta have that. I
yeah,
mean, ultimately, I feel like we want to have a deeper gameplay as well. So if let's say you wanna have like five different heroes, we're working on that. We're not too sure how the UX is gonna be because yeah, there's just gonna be a ton more buttons that you'll have to press. But yeah, we're looking into that. But as of right now, definitely the equation of the rock paper scissors would work.
yeah. I got you. That's cool. Is there any sort of like, so you mentioned like you're gonna make decisions before you go into combat or before you start the game. Is there actually anything that you do to like your account, like or like items that you're like choosing or like abilities that you're choosing before you start creating, or is it like in the game every single time you're starting from scratch?
No, 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 no. So you're gonna yeah, you like you said previously, you're gonna have items that you can level up. You're gonna have skills that you can level up. Albeit you can choose between different skills. Like for example, there's gonna be like five different skills, right, for this certain hero, and you can choose between that five different skill, which one you want to level up, which one you want to bring to battle. Like you'll be able to. There's this thing called Watchtower as well, so you'll be able to scout your enemy and see like what they have on their side. But obviously, you need to like level up to a certain degree in order to see more details on their end. But if let's say you are at that level, gameplay would certainly be more strategic in a sense whereby you can actually set what kind of skill you want for that certain hero to kind of counter what they have in order to increase your chance of victory. Not
Mm-hmm.
only that, once you go into battle, you will be able to like place your your combat units and heroes at certain positions that you want, sort of like a chess style gameplay. So definitely all of these small decisions, like pre gameplay, are gonna affect like your chances of victory.
Very cool. Yeah, yeah. That's kind of a little bit of that is kind of what we have planned for our PvP. Where you'll have like a pool of characters or whatever that you'll choose from, like going into combat. But then you'll only take certain amount, a certain build or whatever with those that you will go in and fight the other guy. So you might have to change. Or I think we're still deciding if there's going to be like multiple rounds where you can adjust your heroes, in between rounds to kind of add a little extra level of like strategy. We're still, I think, deciding on that part.
Yeah, I feel like all of these decisions, it's gonna take a long time with testing as well because once you it takes a lot from ideation all the way to implementation. I feel like people who are not in game development does not understand that. Like there's just minor details even to like backend integration to balancing how it's supposed to be. Like once you change one small detail on a thing that you have balanced already, like yeah, it's gonna go haywire. You need to balance the whole thing again, and yes, there's just a lot more to it than it looks.
Oh yeah, I mean, I learned a ton like right away. Like I came in, with all these like big ideas. I'm like, oh, why don't we do this? Why don't we do this? And right away, it's like, no, no, we can't. That's not. No, that's not. That's not gonna work. I'm like, oh, okay, okay. So you kind of like learn pretty quick. That's like, okay, yeah, it's not as simple as just being like, oh yeah, why would we not do this? It's like, okay, well they'll break everything else. So slow down. Like, okay, okay, okay.
Yeah, dude. All of yeah, game development is certainly exciting to us. To be honest, it's my first time on a game development as well. But honestly, yeah, we have a ton of veterans building our game, and we are learning a ton from them. And I feel like the most important thing is to, you know, because once you understand that you don't know what you don't know, there's just a whole possibility of things that would go haywire once you get into the weeds of, let's say, you really want to make this decision. And I feel like you have to be asking the right questions in game development in order to understand what actually goes into game development at that stage.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I mean, the amount of that I learned um, after onboarding here was, I mean, massive and very, 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 very quickly. You know, it's been fun for sure.
Yeah, dude, almost definitely. It's been a ride. It's been an experience. Yeah.
I think I definitely have the story too for anybody that's like looking to get into Web3. Like, just find a community that you like and grind it out, and it might go somewhere.
Yeah, man. I mean, we just recently hired a marketing guy. Um, his name is, yeah. I mean, he's in here. He's in here. He's Spizup, and he's been great. We found him in the Gaius's project called the Library, and it was a bitch. Trying to find a marketing person, and we're so glad that we found Spizup over the past month or two. People
Yeah,
who
that's
really want to get into Web3 just know that you don't know what you don't know, and once you start asking the right questions, as well as willing to give the time to learn about things. It doesn't matter whether you're a Web3 pleb or whether you're a pleb in real life. All it matters is that you're actively trying to learn, and you're willing to apply and put in the time to actually learn about the project or trying to better the project. You might just get noticed, and if you're actively trying to improve your skill set in order to get the role that you want to get the role for, don't give up.
yeah. Just find your niche and leverage it for sure.
Exactly. All right, thank you so much, man, for coming on to the space. I think that's all we have for now. Thank you everyone who came in to listen. Yeah, we're
Yeah, thanks,
excited
dude.
to move forward, man.
Um, Go ahead and find some more Zanny people. Let's get a group one going on sometime soon. Maybe some other members or whatever.
Yeah, for sure, man. Definitely.
Yeah,
We're already like in talk with a few more people. Definitely we're onboarding them within the next week. And yeah, very exciting times.
yeah, beautiful, beautiful. Love it. Do we want to like see if anybody has any questions real quick before we go?
Yeah, sure. Anybody got any questions? All right. Doesn't seem to. All right.
Golden.
Thank you guys. Thanks,
All right,
Blake.
good talking to you guys.
Cheers, man. Bye.
Later, bud.